Well, I hadn't planned on another milestone this week, but looks like I've had three just recently, right? Since last weekend. I had the run to the beach, and then I had the 32-minute time on my run the other night for the 5K, taking 16 minutes off last year's 5K. And today I got down here, I rode my trusty bike down here, and by the way, got a canteen. We'll talk about that in a minute. And I got to the loop. See the loop? People walking on the loop. And I've been running one loop, and let's see, it's John Gardner, a couple of people that I watch that are amazing runners. They do sometimes 2 and 3 loops. It's 2.7 miles for a loop. And I thought today, it's about time I start increasing my run down here. So I did 2 loops today. So it's another milestone. And it's amazing. The first loop was fine. I mean, I was okay the whole time. And then the second loop, that really pushed it. So it looks like I'm a 2-looper now. Does that make me a Fruit Loop? I don't know. Anyway, it was pretty amazing. I love the progress, not perfection, progress. And I'm especially grateful for being able to run today. I don't know where y'all were in 2001, but I was in the office. I'd been there for 6 months in the honors program, now honors college. And I was in my office, a very different office than I have now. And a kid came in and said somebody had hit the World Trade Center with a plane, and I thought it was a joke. I don't know if y'all remember the story, but back when they built the Empire State Building, no one would move into it because they were scared of being up so high until a biplane hit it. And once the biplane hit it and they saw so many people, it didn't fall, people moved into it. And so I made some remark about, if a plane hit it, that's going to drive up the real estate. And then I went on the web, and the internet had shut down. You couldn't get on any searches, and we heard that we were under attack. And Lisa Pollard, who was a Middle Eastern specialist, she was teaching in the room next door. She dismissed her class, and I called Michael, and we went over to the old Hawk's Nest. And by the time we got over there, the first tower had fallen. And we all gathered with the students and us, and we stood there and we watched the second tower fall all together. I'll never forget it as long as I live. It was extraordinary. And to this day, it still seems surreal. And Michael and I just went home, we called family, we just reached out. And what was really glorifying about that whole period under all that tragedy was how unified this country was for, unfortunately, such a brief time. We were all struggling to get flags to put up. Flags were no longer a symbol of something using, patriotism. It was really real. We were printing them on printers. We were doing everything just to show that we were unified as a country, and we were. For me, that's like what I really believe in terms of my faith. The only true and real church, temple, synagogue was like that moment, that fellowship. Every time we spend more money on building temples and churches, it just breaks my heart, because we could do so much for each other like we did during that time. We could save so many and do so much for each other. We are greater than through love and support, not through brick and mortar. And while brick and mortar has its purpose, there's so much need, and there still is to this day. I guess since 2001, what's changed for the most for me is me. I just wish so much that there was more change in the world that was positive, that was more unifying. But I was getting angry today when I was walking around the loop, and I was getting angry because when I would say good morning to people as I was running, people would just look the other way. And I was going to post something on my Facebook about how we need to say hello to each other and blah, 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 blah. And then I got to remembering that old saying, be the change that you want to be in the world. So the more I ran, the more I tipped my hat, the more I said good morning to people, the more I became the change I wanted to see. And people responded, some, a lot of them actually, the majority of them actually. So maybe on 9/11, the best we can do for each other is to tip our hats to each other, acknowledge each other, be that unifying force that we were in the aftermath, and keep on doing what we can do to be a real church, a real synagogue, a real place of worship, a real place of love. It's the only thing we've got, really. So, I remember. Bye.